But, as I say, they're in cruise control today, Arsenal.
Yeah.
We've not mentioned Liverpool yet either.
Yeah.
They're playing Spurs at 5:30, so, Klopp and Postecoglou will be taking a bit of comfort out of City losing as well.
I'd imagine so, yeah. And just on the Arsenal performance there, we'll show a little bit of Odegaard after the break, but they have got the kind of quality that if you do what Bournemouth do today, which is essentially not much, you're going to get punished with Arsenal not even getting out of third gear, right?
Yeah, you're right. When you summed it up, they didn't get out of third gear, they didn't have to. It was a very professional performance, accomplished from Arsenal, but they were never really tested. And I think, they look relegation material, Bournemouth, on that evidence. Now, I know it's really early in the season to say that, but there has to be a huge improvement in their performances.
It's supposed to be a high-pressing team. That's the reputation Areola brought. You're giving me a look, Shay, to say what pressing?
Well, we might have a piece after the break on David Raya as well, but he, we talked about how good he is with the ball at his feet. Had a cigar on, and there was one point towards the second half, I think it went into Jorginho, and there was no Bournemouth player in the same postcode as him. He laid it off. He could have turned, and we didn't see any press at all from Bournemouth today, and that's a concern. As Neil rightly says, O'Neill has a brilliant result today for Wolves, and it's human nature for the fans and the board and everything. Have we made the right decision?
Yeah, but there was questions for you, Shay. Gary O'Neill did a great job. I was one of them. He thought that no chance of staying up last year, and he did a mini miracle. And then he loses his job off the back of that. I don't understand that. Now, maybe they wanted Areola in. He has got to prove that he's got the components to be a coach in this division. He's not showing it at the minute.
Well, yeah, they've got some potentially easier fixtures coming up. Everton, Wolves, Burnley. They'll need points from those games, or else he's going to be under big pressure. As for Arsenal, we all know what's happening next weekend. It's Manchester City, and they're coming in off a defeat. We'll talk about all that after the break. Some big results around the Premier League today, not the least of which is Wolves beating Manchester City. It's 2 defeats on the spin now in all competitions for City. Not a good week for them. It was a good day for Arsenal. They were 2-0 up at half-time. We were hoping for some sort of competitiveness in the second half. It didn't really come. And Kai Havertz has his first goal as an Arsenal player.
Yeah, I mean, it's an easy decision, I think, for the referee. Christie dives in, gives a daft penalty away, to be honest, Owen. And he's trying to claim it and say to the referee, look at it back, but I think as Breeny says in commentary, when he looks at it back himself, you're thinking, what's he flying in at there?
He got the ball eventually.
Eventually, there's a touch at the end, but he's took Odegaard out, and for me, it's not even a hard decision. You don't even need VAR to look at it. It's just poor defending, it's lazy defending. I don't know. He's just rash, and then of course we were sort of talking off air. Why is Havertz taking it? Because I imagine Odegaard's the penalty taker, but again, the reaction after this maybe explains a bit, they're all around him, supposed trying to build his confidence up, get him part of the group. You can see this is a good footage out there when they're all slapping him in the back of the head.
Yeah, it's interesting though, Neil. You reminded me of a quote from Arteta earlier in the season after the Palace game when Odegaard took the penalty that day, even though Saka would be their regular penalty taker. He was asked, who's your first choice taker? And what Arteta said was, I have no clue. It's about leadership of players. They have to make those decisions on the pitch. It's an unusual approach.
Very unusual, because normally, it's decided before the game and you're going through your set plays, your free kicks, corners, and here's a designated penalty taker for the day. So I was quite surprised when Mikel came out with that, because he's very detailed in his preparation, obviously. But Odegaard stepped up today, did the damage, and then Havertz followed up with the second penalty quite comfortably.
We can have a look at the fourth goal, Ben White.
Yeah, I mean, it's a set play, and Bournemouth have been very poor on set plays. Lovely flick ball in from Odegaard, and Ben's just strong and he's unmarked. I know Bournemouth is zonal, but you've got to go and attack that early. Look, it's far too easy. There's no real contact on him. There's no one trying to put him off his jump. And the ball's even floated in here. There's no real whip on it, and it's a great header from his point of view, but a free header.
No, you're fed up with Bournemouth today. I fed up with Sarr.
I am, honestly.
He actually made a few saves.
Yeah.
Could have lost by more.
Yeah, it could have been a lot more. The keeper made some good saves, especially in the second half, towards the second half, as if they'd not lost interest, but they just were miles off it today, Bournemouth, and the keeper made some good saves to keep the score down. But again, I would question the bigger picture. You said 7 games now without a victory in the Premier League. Where do Bournemouth go from here? You mentioned Everton away next, which will be, is it too early to say, a 9-pointer and 8 games in? But it's getting to that stage already. They're down in trouble straight away.
You know what it's like, Shay? You get into a malaise, it's really hard to get out of it. You need to dig in, and sometimes you need to change the way you play one as well. But that's not hard to change from.
What I was going to say, Lenny, to you about half-time, was let's see reactions, let's see what the manager does at half-time. Did you see anything second half? That's what I mean.
Nothing.
So the fans watching as well be going, what's going on here? What have they done?
I was looking forward to this high pressing that they talk about. I didn't see any of it. And I know Ray is really good on the ball, and sometimes you can't go and press when the goalkeeper's comfortable in possession. But there were times when the ball was going wide and they didn't even stop them on one side of the pitch. Arsenal were able to come through the midfield, and the distances between Bournemouth's attacking players, the midfield and defence was all over the place.
Yeah, Everton is going to be interesting, as you say. Wolves with the Gary O'Neill factor. That's going to be a fascinating match in 2 games' time. Burnley they've got as well after that, and eventually Man City. So
but that's maybe the games that you really. I mean, they played. Manchester. Have they played Man United? They played Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah.
They played Chelsea. They played Chelsea.
Yeah.
So, they've got to judge themselves against Burnley, the Evertons of this world. But on that showing, they've got no chance of one.
Martin Odegaard was involved in the 2 goals we've seen there, and involved in the 2 goals in the first half as well. So a nice day out for him.
I thought he had a great game. He showed this is a great ball in. The weight of the cross is perfect for Jesus to head it back across goal. I just thought, his positional play, his awareness, that's just a beautiful way of passing, disguise on the pass as well. I just thought, today he showed his class. He's been a wonderful player for the last sort of season and a half now for Arsenal. And I know he's a child prodigy when he was at Real Madrid, but he's found a real home here, and he's showing all his talent again. Just look at his close control and brilliant awareness. So it was a really good all-round performance. Enjoyed watching him play today.
Impressed?
Yeah, I think he just signed a new contract there last week as well. So he's there for the next good few years, and he's the captain of the football club. And sometimes you say Arsenal lack leaders, but I think with him, his performances, he leads with his performances as well.
Yeah, that's a fair point. We went big on the David Raya versus Aaron Ramsdale dynamic before the match. So what did you think about Raya brought to the table today?
Well, what he does do, and I'm not no slight on Ramsdale, he's very calm. That's a brilliant pass. So what he does, he attracts the opposition to go and press him. You mentioned there before, this is goalkeeping. He holds this really well because one of them awkward ones, but he's very positive coming